The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Friday in a row. And what a Friday it is. And let's get Commander COVID out of the way. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yes, we do. Okay. The total number of cases in Massachusetts is 111,533. New cases yesterday was 162. Total deaths is 8,470. Total new deaths is 32. Bristol County had 9,272 cases. Fall River, as of yesterday, the city of Fall River had 1,822 confirmed cases, which is a three case increase from Wednesday's numbers. We've also had another fatality, bringing us up to 118. So, excuse me, two new fatalities, which brought us up to 118. So that's our COVID numbers.
Yes, and I guess I don't even know where to begin, CJ. Maybe the information we got that we have to further confirm, but I think it is noteworthy that supposedly the people who work at the senior centers have been basically terminated or laid off or
Furloughed
or whatever.
I can tell you with some certainty that an employee of one of the senior centers made a phone call to advise that they're told they're no longer employed by the city and that they can file for unemployment. I find this to be a little bit concerning because a lot of the seniors eat at the senior centers. That's where they get their food from. Now, during this COVID thing, the senior centers have been closed for a great deal of time. Now, maybe this is just a short-term money-saving effort because we know the city is hard up for cash. Maybe it's just something that had to be done. But I know with pretty much absolute certainty that they have laid off, furloughed, or terminated the senior centers or the people that work in the senior centers. So, and I received a phone call yesterday from a neighborhood leader who also advised me that they received a phone call from somebody in their neighborhood who works in the senior center that they're no longer working in the senior center and that they have to apply for unemployment. So, I mean, that's coming from two different sources. So I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but I'll tell you right now, it doesn't look good for the mayor to be terminating senior programs at all.
Well, as usual, because of our uncontrolled spending that's gone on for years, there seems to be no attempt from this administration to curb spending. They're looking to shore up holes in the budget, which always reappear because there's no control in spending. You just keep spending, and the senior centers. It's bad enough that they stop COVID-infected people in some areas in the nursing homes, but seniors have limited contact in many cases with people, even under the best of circumstances. And these senior centers provide them an area where they can go in and socially interact. And that is really, really important, kind of like gyms. People go to the gym. They not only work out for their physical health, but for their mental health, and also they have an interaction with people. And social interaction is a necessity for virtually everybody. And it's if this is true, this is absolutely inexcusable. To save a couple of dollars, you know, and we're going to segue into a real big one later. But I mean, this is the beginning and the tip of the iceberg of how desperate we're getting. So it's wrong if it's true. And as you said, we've gotten reports about this. So we're going to try to confirm it by Monday's show, one way or the other. But you know, just the fact that this is even being floated out there is disturbing. About increases in taxes and fees and where we're going to get the money and manipulating COVID money so we can plug up gaps that are created by fiduciary irresponsibility. When is this council and when is this city? Where's the moratoriums on these things? Where did the mayor stop the automatic pay raises? The automatic cost of living increases? Has he asked for some moratoriums on anything? No. They're still just spending the colloquial expression like drunken sailors and just looking for money at the expense of the seniors, at the expense of the city employees, and at the expense. I am not real impressed with the direction they're going because they have a total disregard for what's wrong. And obviously the social. I know we hear all the time, oh, we're all in this together. We're a team. No, we're not. No, we're not. Because when you do something like this, the city gains money and everybody else gets screwed. So that's only the beginning. And now we've also heard a rumor, and you can wrap up this if you want, or we can segue into this. We've also heard that they got DCM out there throwing around tickets like it's raining for any little, they're doing something that we should have done when we had the purple bags now because they want to raise revenue. And I think you were threatened. I've had people tell me that they got tickets. I actually spoke to someone who said, I had some stuff piled in my yard. I had a mattress against my camper in the backyard, and they gave me a $300 ticket. And I said, what's the problem? Like neatly, it's not, but they're looking at it. And apparently, this is another way to raise funds. And I don't believe in people, creating a public hazard or having property in disrepair. But I also think DCM should be doing DCM work, not around giving tickets out. So.
Well, interestingly enough, people are posting their tickets on Facebook that they've received. So it's not like it's unfounded. I've seen the actual tickets. So this is happening. And I mean, we have an administration or it may not even be the administration totally. It may be the finance team that's looking to, maximize every dollar they can get. And we've seen this before. Okay, we've seen this before. And I was speaking with 2 city councilors yesterday because I received something in the mail that I said over and over again that I would be right. And of course, I was right. Here we go. Doc's right again. And
Magnificent.
Yep. I received this in the mail. Do people recognize it?
Oh no, it's a water sewer fee.
That's right. Now, do you remember during the city council meeting, Mary Sahadi and Paul Ferland said very clearly, it will only result in a $20 a year increase. But you have to listen to the words carefully, because it was a $20 a year increase in the water. They said in the water. They didn't say the sewer. They didn't say the base fee. They didn't say the water fee, the rainwater fee as they call it. So when I got my bill, I saw a $76 increase for a 3-decker. Now $20 a year would have been $60, but I saw $76, bringing my water bill to $500.
Nice.
I posted that amount of money on Facebook to get some feedback from people to see if anyone else had gotten their water bills yet. And I'll tell you now, I spoke with a family member down in Florida. Florida has a water shortage, and Florida has to buy their water from another location. They get it from Georgia. And they're paying $45 to $50 a month. A month. A woman from North Carolina said, I've got a dishwasher, I've got a washer dryer, I water my lawn, I have a pool, I use lots of water, and I pay $45 a month. How come these communities further down south can pay so little for their water, but here in Fall River, we have to pay just on water $162 and then $274 on sewerage. The rest is made up with base fee, which is for your meter that you pay for, and the stormwater fee, which I still think is illegal, which I thought is illegal for a long time.
For me, the city actually put in and monitors our claims, so that's another absurdity. But you're talking about a quarter, not the annual. So
that's right. That's a quarter. 76 a quarter.
Perfectly clear to our viewers. We're talking per quarter. And remember, liars, figures don't lie, but liars can figure. They always reduce it to pennies or give you an average that virtually nobody ever has. As you said, CJ, when we discussed this, when it came up at the council meeting, but how many times has it happened? Every single time. It's never ever been as cheap as they said it was going to be. It's an absolute lie. And the people have to rise up and they have to revolt. It's time. I actually had a conversation yesterday with a city councilor whose bill went up $300. $300. And she went down, and I was with the Pereira. She went down and complained. And they said, well, maybe you got a leak, and maybe you got this. And she got a whole bunch of stories, and none of them made any sense. And the jury's still out. They did reduce her fee, but the problem is we came up with the answer that nobody knows what the hell's going on. They can't, if you ask them to justify it, they might tell you got a leak or something else, or the increase is only this, but the meter's not right, and it's an estimate or it's an average, which it isn't. You got a meter. The thing's metered. So you know how much water you're using. And the other thing is obviously whatever factor they attach to it. So again, this is government bullshit to take every single dime that you have. But you talked about the woman in North Carolina. We have to ask her, do they have deans of students in their middle schools? Do all the upper echelon city employees that are appointed have automatic cost of living raises attached to their contracts in addition to pay raises? Do we have a chief of staff, a special assistant, a press secretary, a CFO in a city that never had them before? We look at our budget ever expanding, while services, which is what we pay our taxes for, are diminished. This is a problem, people. It's time to get to your counselors and demand it. And if they don't do the right thing, it's time to get rid of them at the next election. And there will be a conscious effort to get people running for the council who are going to protect the taxpayer. This is outrageous what's happening. They're going to run around and look for excuses to give out tickets. Well, we got rid of the enforcement officers. Now we got DCM. DCM should be out there doing DCM work, not trying to generate revenue. I know for a fact, because I heard it from a city employee who obviously said, "Oh, don't say, if they ever found out I said this," and I said, "Well, nobody's going to find out." I said, "But they have been told to increase their revenue stream, even in the committing department, and they had to explain to Mary Sahadi that you're not selling widgets here. We can only give out a permit when somebody pulls a permit. And obviously construction is down. And they are victims of the economy. If people aren't working, people aren't doing renovations, people aren't building as much, people aren't, you can't walk in and say, I want you to raise 150,000 more than you did last year, because it's like medical claims. Nobody knows if the medical claims are going to be high or low. So they're desperate for money. And when they're desperate for money, they always know where to go. The taxpayer. They're going to screw you on the water bill. They're going to screw you on the taxes. They're going to max 2.5. They're going to bring in that override in the next budget. And they're going to keep tucking it to you until you tuck it to them by throwing them out of office. And put counselors in there that are willing to do their job. And tell them no. Bring me a budget with that has some reductions. Eliminate something. And I have to be truthful. I don't try to feel it, because I know the mayor will say, because he whined at the last meeting, I'm doing without a city administrator. He complained. Well, guess what? Colin Viveris didn't have a city administrator. And we had a lot more people in the city, and a lot more. The departments were all 3 times or 5 times the size they are now. We had over 300. We had 300 firefighters, 300 cops. A lot more people, 25,000 more people at least than we have today. And nowhere near the crime problem, because they were actually not junkies and people in the projects. So don't tell me you need one. You took the job. You're supposed to run the city. If you don't want to run the city and you want everybody else to run the city, my suggestion is get a type E job. Let's pay a man 20 grand for being a figurehead, and get a city manager, not a city administrator, and have the city manager be accountable to the people about spending their money properly. That whining doesn't work, because it's just political rhetoric to justify their raping and pillaging the taxpayers in the city of Fall River, and talking it even more to the city employees.
I agree. And again, back when Carlton Viveris was mayor, he was getting paid the big bucks. Today, we're paying the mayor a big bucks, and he does nothing. He truly does nothing compared to what other mayors prior to Carlton Viveris, from Carlton Viveris behind did. Because after Carlton Viveris, we got a city administrator who did all the work. And that's why Paul's kind of complaining, I think, because he doesn't have a city administrator, which means somebody has to do the work, and that person is Mary Sahadi. Now, I'm waiting to hear how much of a stipend or how much more money she's getting to be the acting city administrator. But I've been told that she could only do that for a certain number of days, and that was it. So maybe now, Mr. Mayor, you're going to have to do the job of a city administrator. And that, the problem is you don't know what the job of a city administrator is. This isn't school, Mr. Mayor. You can't be a school teacher here. You can't play nice. You have to be the boss. And believe me, you already got the not play nice down to a science. Now, play boss the way you're supposed to. Make the necessary cuts that you have to make. Save the taxpayer a buck or two, and make the people happy. Because right now, you're not making people happy. I've spoken to members of the Democratic City Committee, and guess what? You're not on their high list of choices for new mayor. So when your own party is looking to dump you, you have a problem.
And CJ, don't you think it's kind of, let's look at this. City administrator. Now, this position was created by Calvin DeVaris, and the first city administrator was Alan Slater, who's a tremendously knowledgeable guy. Still a good friend of mine. As a matter of fact, I spoke to him yesterday down in Florida. And he, great guy. But let's look at this. A city administrator. Now, why do we need someone to administer the city if we have a mayor? Isn't the mayor supposed to be the guy in charge of the city? Why do we need somebody to administer the city? As I said, if we really want a city administrator, let's go to a Type B charter and let's get a city manager and make the mayor what he is. Because once we establish the position of city administrator, gave them chiefs of staff, CFOs, everybody to run the city, all he is a figurehead. He's like the Queen of England. He doesn't do anything. He's ceremonial. So if he's going to be ceremonial, let's make it a ceremonial mayor, like they have in a Type B charter. Let's give him let's give the president of the city council an extra 20 grand and call him the mayor and let him cut ribbons and go to the openings of things and say, okay, but we have a professional manager, someone who is hired to ensure that the city money is being spent the way the city council and the taxpayers want it to be spent. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, CJ, with you, because you and I have been advocates of the Type B charter for decades. And I've seen how well it works. And in this city, I've seen it evolve into a Type B charter, but without the money being removed. Because once you got a city manager, you don't need all this other crap. You don't need a CFO. You don't need all these other people. The mayor doesn't need a chief of staff, a special assistant, a press secretary, and all these other, ornaments that are getting 6 figures. And I heard a rumor that Mary said, Hattie's salary, you talked about what she's getting. I heard her salary's up to $175,000. Last time I checked, it was like $140,000. So that's about a $35,000 bump. We have to check into that. But look, the whole thing is, we're looking at this city, it's coming down around our ears. And I want everybody that got their water bill to let's hope they're outraged enough to do something about this. Call your councilors, because we call them and half the time they don't answer, because they know that we're going to tell them something they don't want to hear, and they want to plead ignorance, because then they're going to go, well, you screwed up when you approved this. And they're going to say, well, I didn't know. Well, don't lie. You did know. You did know. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. And then we can segue into the healthcare.
Well, before you go there, I have a question. Yes. Did you say that Linda Pereira went to the water department and they fixed her bill?
No, I said that Linda Pereira went down there and I don't know, finally went down there to question her bill. And then they said that it may have been her meter, or she had a leak, and then it went down, and supposedly there was an adjustment to her bill. She told me that, and that's it. There was an adjustment to her bill. So,
isn't it amazing that a city councilor?
But wait a minute, the adjustment still hasn't. I gotta be upfront. She said they supposedly made an adjustment. They gave her a number. She wasn't happy with it, but apparently, I don't know. But then when she went down to pay her bill, they hadn't made the adjustment. So technically, they haven't made the adjustment, but they said there was paperwork filed in order to get that adjustment. But she did say that they came up with a different number, which to me, I don't know, but that's the problem. And she did go on record to me, and if she wants to deny it, well, she can. But I mean, there's no reason for me to make this up. But the fact is, she said that first they told her she had leaks, and they said, "No, I don't have leaks. We put the blue stuff in them." And then maybe it's your meter, maybe it's that, and a whole bunch of litany of stories, which ended up basically, she said, made absolutely no sense. And then supposedly they came up with a different number, but that number has not been implemented because she said she went down to pay the bill. She asked them how much she owed if she was going to send them a check, and it was still the original amount. So, but look, all this proves is the city is in total chaos. You have a water department that sends you a bill, and then if you question the bill, they don't even know how they got to that number. All they do is just, it's like almost arbitrary and capricious. I mean, this is not the way to run a railroad. We can't have fictitious numbers being given by the CFO in front of the council on healthcare, on water bill rates, and all this other stuff. This is knowingly misleading the public. And as you said, very eloquently at one time, when she says $20, it's not $20. It's then you come up, oh no, it's only an average. Well, I want to know whose water bill went up $20. I'm waiting for mine. I haven't got it yet. So I'm going to see, because everybody I've talked to, I don't think anybody's got $20. And that's per year, correct?
That was supposed to be $20 a year.
Yeah, so that's $5 a quarter. So
right.
$5 a quarter? I don't think so. You just showed the bill.
Yeah, mine just went $76. So I'll tell you now, that's for the quarter. That's a lot of money. And, I made a statement online, and I've made a statement to 2 city councilors now that maybe the city should go to a monthly billing. And as soon as I said that online, I got more crap by people saying, oh, so you want to pay $50,000 more a year to do monthly billing? Well, if the seniors can afford their water bill that way, then yes, I do. And that's going to have to be the cost of doing business that the city's going to have to suck up. Okay? Because the seniors can't afford their water bills at this rate. And they're going to lose their homes.
Well, you're telling me that it's going to cost $50,000 to take a bill that you know how much it is because you've got the rates for this quarter and break it down into a plan. All the help we got, like this is rocket science. Everything's so costly. The only thing that's costly is their incompetence. Their incompetence is costly. Because in Fall River, it doesn't take 8 people to screw in a light bulb. It takes 80. And that's why it costs $50,000 to send out a bill. That's the reason you can't get a paycheck or a check cut to you and they owe money until the next pay cycle. Because nobody can do it. If you walk into a bank and they owe you money, they'll cut you a check. If you walk into a business and they overcharged you, they'll cut you a check. They don't say, well, you got to wait till the next billing cycle because all the bureaucrats don't get off their butts. And it's not enough help where it's supposed to be. All our money's going to CFOs, deans of students, and chiefs of staff rather than people working in the damn trenches.
Chip, I have to cut you off. We're out of time. We'll have to bring up the healthcare issue on Monday. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Stay safe and stay angry.
Stay super.